Perhaps my biggest publishing on a budget hack is about publishing small books. What if writing a book is not just a way to transform the lives of many people, but also a way to create financial freedom and leave a legacy? Wouldn't you want to find out just how to do that? Well, that's what this show is all about.
Hi, I'm Hennika Watkis, Porter, speaker, coach, author of Podcast Power, and the host of the Entrepreneurial You podcast, inviting you to listen to the Authorpreneur Secrets podcast, brought to you by C. Ruth Taylor, best-selling indie author and the Caribbean's most trusted voice on entrepreneurship. Tune in for inspiration, information, and innovation to write and win with books. Get ready to dominate entrepreneurship.
Greetings, Authorpreneurs. Welcome to episode 23 of the Authorpreneur Secrets podcast. I'm your host, C. Ruth Taylor, and this is the program where we give you the roadmap to win with books beyond book sales and dominate entrepreneurship. We want to make the Caribbean the home of entrepreneurship and independent publishing. Coming up in today's show, I'm going to be talking about publishing on a budget. This is part 2 in the book Authorpreneur Secrets. Part 1 talks about how to write your manuscript in 30 days. And then part 2 is about publishing on a budget. And part 3, how to create impact and income with your book. And this show is named after the book, Authorpreneur Secrets. So I'll be sharing a little bit of my story and how I was able to publish without money and make my publishing dream a reality without breaking the bank. And there's a new segment that we have on the show, Resources to Win. These are tools, resource persons, websites, and things that will help to make the publishing journey smoother for independent authors so that we can win on this journey. Before we get into publishing on a budget, let's have a word from our sponsor, Frame Art Jamaica Limited.
Come to Frame Art Jamaica Limited for your one-stop framing, graphic design, and printing needs. We frame photos, certificates, paintings, t-shirts, and so much more. You can also get high-quality prints and framing done in a quick turnaround time to fit your budget. Visit Frame Art Jamaica at 22C Old Hope Road, Kingston 5. Weekdays 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call us at 876-929-3058 or visit us at info@frameartjamaica.com. Serving you for over 30 years.
All right, so let's talk about publishing on a budget. How do you do that? When I began my authorship journey in 2014 and wrote my first manuscript, I was unemployed. I was transitioning from being a missionary to being an author, speaker, personal development coach, and I was dependent on donations to survive as a missionary. And here I had this idea to write and publish a book. And so I took to the process the same mentality that I had in working as a missionary. You would have had to raise your financial support. So I desired to raise my financial support, and I got a team together. Of course, I did not exercise a lot of wisdom in that process. I really believed I could have raised the funds, but my publishing ambitions were too grand. So I wanted to do a print run of 5,000 books, and I thought I could sell them off in a week. And so we had a budget of 2 million Jamaican dollars. During that process, one of the things that I did was to hire one of the best illustrators, graphic artists on the island. And you know, when you are hiring the best, you pay a lot. And I ran into problems quickly because I wasn't able to raise that money. And I had to settle in the end for publishing the book and printing 1,200 copies. And this was publishing independently. I was working with a publishing services company. And to be honest, the rates of the company were just about average. It's not as high as I initially thought. But what messed me up during that time was having a 2-day launch affair and having this big team and, you know, hiring persons for these live launch event and just putting on a phenomenal show and having to pay artists. And, you know, we had to cut down our budget. At the end of the process, I was indebted about $1 million Jamaican dollars in debt. And so after that, I went on a journey to learn how to publish without breaking the bank. So the publishing process itself was over 5,000 US dollars. And the printing was, for the 1,200 books, it was 500,000 Jamaican dollars, which at that time would have been over 5,000 US dollars as well. It took me over a year to be able to sell those 1,200 books. I gave away a lot, and I think I managed to sell about 1,000 in the end. I went on a journey to cut my publishing costs. And one of the things that I did was to print on demand. What this means is that you do not print a bulk run where you have to either come up with the cash immediately or you put yourself in debt. So publishing services like Amazon, Ingram Spark, and several others, they allow you to print a single book if it's a single book you want. So you print on demand and then they give you a discount on author's copy. So had I understood that, I would not have done a bulk run. So what I started doing after that is to do pre-orders. So you can have persons order the books before, pay for them, and then you can use that money now to print your books. We do a lot of print books in the Caribbean because this is where we make the bulk of our profit and our sales as independent authors in the Caribbean. We have a face-to-face culture, and persons really want the print book, even though the ebook is there, they prefer to read print. And so one of the things you can do is actually print books without spending from your pocket by getting pre-orders and sales. And you can do that by tapping into your network. To sell the first 100 or 200 books, you can use your network, especially if it's a first-time book. You know, people, friends, family, they are ready to support you. The second thing that I did, instead of taking a publishing package, what you can do is to study the publishing process, find out what are the parts of the process to publish your book, and then you outsource those affordably. No, there's a site that I love that sometimes people give it a flack, but I believe they have been a lifesaver. They are a lifesaver, and they've helped me to publish without breaking the bank. And that site is Fiverr.com. Now, you can get services for like $5, or you can get premium services for over $1,000. These days, Fiverr has a whole range of freelancers, professionals, those are just starting out and trying to build their names. So I found a publishing service provider or author service provider on Fiverr that was able to offer me rates at, let me say, rates that were not market rates, and that enabled me to publish. So the process will include your cover design, the formatting, the editing, and the proofing. And there are persons who offer quality service on a platform like Fiverr that will help you and you don't have to break the bank. The other thing that has helped me to publish even without money, there are a couple of books that I have published and I haven't spent any cent on it, is to barter or to trade services. So I would encourage you to barter. What can you offer that is valuable to someone else who offers these services so that you don't have to pay? One of the things that worked out for me, I was promoting a particular author service company, ND Author Services, and for the book Authorpreneur Secrets, they offered to do the formatting, the cover design. Basically, they published it for me. All I had to do was to pay for the ISBN. So that book cost me about $32 because I was referring persons to the company and I had been doing a lot of work with them. So after a while, they offered to just do this for me. So when you read the book Authorpreneur Secrets, you will see I mentioned ND author services a whole lot. So you can trade. Another thing that helps you to cut down on the cost is you can learn to DIY. So what aspects of the publishing process can you learn? Can you learn to format your book? So I learned to format my books, and there are various formatting tools out there that can assist you in formatting. Even if you don't have any money, you can format using Microsoft Word. Dr. Derek Murphy on Creative Indie has lots of tutorials on how to format your book using Microsoft Word. So when you don't have the money, one of the things you can do is spend the time to learn. You can format your Kindle, the e-version, quite easily. And so when I learned to format, that also cut down on my costs. And you can use YouTube University. Perhaps my biggest publishing on a budget hack is about publishing small books. Right. So one of the books that helped me is a book called Penniless Publishing, How to Publish a Book Without Spending a Cent. That is by Ed Lewis. And it's only for 99 cents. So you can invest in that. And that book really helped me. That is getting me into my resource segment, but I'll come back to that shortly. So there are parts of the process that you can learn, and you can get freebies. Are there persons who can edit for you in bartering? That's part of the freebies. And what parts can you learn? You can get my book, Authorpreneur Secrets, because it breaks down the process. It even gives you the price range. But if you're going to spend any money, make sure you spend money on getting editing, proper editing of your book. And then you could raise some funds for that. And of course, the best way to publish without anybody is to get a traditional deal. But this show is about independent authors. For nonfiction books, this works really well. Readers like to read books on average of about 25,000 words. And when you publish small books, especially if it's your first book, you get a big win. You could also publish the books in series so that you end up with volumes of books. But the key here is that the editing and proofing will not be as expensive as if you were doing a book of 60,000, 70,000 words because of the cost involved in editing, whether you're paying by the hour or you're paying per word. So that was my biggest hack. And just like the book of Ruth in the Bible, it's a small book, easy to read, full of value. You want to write a small, valuable book. In Jamaica, it's a little but talawa. And you can do this if it's the first time and you don't have a lot of money. So that would make it easier if you're going to do an audiobook as well. I was listening to Joanna Penn recently on the Creative Penn podcast, and she was interviewing the head of Findaway Voices, and he said, what is hot is shorter books, 2 to 3 hours. And so if you write shorter books, that will help to cut down on how much you spend. Now, for those who are doing full-length novels and the other genre, sometimes it's not so easy, but you can do short stories. You can start off with a novella, and then you can work your way up, but there are ways to work around it. So as I said, one of my biggest hacks in publishing on a budget is to write smaller books. So let's recap. Print on demand. So you pre-order before, do pre-orders and do print on demand. Don't do a bulk run, right? Where you have to find a lot of money to pay the publisher or put yourself in debt, and then you end up with a pile of books and you don't know how you're going to sell them. Secondly, you can use Fiverr to outsource affordably, and you just need to look at the reviews, what has been said, and You can find persons at different price ranges. You can get freebies by doing service exchanges or bartering with others, and you can DIY, learn some parts of the process yourself. If you do that, then you'll be able to publish on a budget or publish without spending $500 on your book, and you don't have to compromise quality. All right, so those are my tips, and now let's get to some resources to win. There is a book called Penniless Publishing, How to Publish Your Book Without Spending a Cent. That book will help you. It's by Ed Lewis, and it's for $0.99. No, I am not getting any affiliate commission from doing this. I'm just sharing some resources that will help you to win on your author journey if you're an independent author, especially those from the Caribbean. Our economies are not as strong as those in first world countries, but everybody wants to find a way to save, right? And if you intend to publish many books, then you need to know the tips and tricks instead of finding between $1,000 and $10,000 each time. And then a wonderful resource site from our third guest on the podcast is Kindlepreneur. Now, you all know I love Dave Chesson, right? And each week he sends out articles. And these are super training articles that will help you to understand the publishing process. Some of the articles have prices and different things so that you can make an informed decision about the steps to publish. And last week, which is the last week in September, he released an article, How to Format a Book. And this article is so useful. So this is free training at your fingertips that can help you to publish on a budget or just to cut costs. So he produced a formatting master guide, How to Format a Book, the guidelines to format, the different file types, how to create a front and back matter, the rules for formatting, steps to format properly, picking the best trim sizes for your book, how to design beautiful chapters. And he had a list of book formatting services and the cost involved to format and publish your book on different platforms. So I would encourage you to sign up to Kindlepreneur, and from time to time I'll be giving an update on the articles that Dave releases, because I find them extremely relevant to help you to write, publish, market, and monetize your books. He has his own formatting tool that is coming out, which is like going to be a formatting ninja. That's what I call it. He first announced this on the program. Our program, the Authorpreneur Secrets podcast, was the first time he announced the release of this formatting software. It's called Atticus.io. It's right now still in beta. I have been testing it and I am loving it so far. It is simplifying the process. Here we talk about authorpreneurship. We're talking about book-based initiatives. We're talking about building a business around your book. We're talking about leveraging your author platform. That's what the show is all about. So you can go there and get those resources. There are also courses for authors. So whether it's marketing, writing, editing, book publishing, this is a great resource. And finally, I'm going to talk about one of my own resources now, which is the Publishing Starter Kit. You can go to authorpreneursecrets.com and download the Publishing Starter Kit. It is free. It's a series of 10 training videos, and it's based on secrets to publish on a budget. And you can download it. You will get 2 videos over each day, over 5 days. And it teaches you the publishing process and how you can cut costs. And it actually provides some other resources, some places you can go to get the services that you need to publish your book. So those are some of the resources that will help you. And these are the things that many authorpreneurs do. I trust that you found this episode helpful. So In closing, I want to thank you for listening. Share it, especially with new and aspiring authors. So this is Ruth Taylor saying, take charge of your publishing, go pen it to win it, and dominate authorpreneurship. Ta for now, until next time.
I'm Tamara Francis, educator and editor. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share the podcast with your network. If you'd like to increase your impact and income with books, visit AuthorpreneurSecret.com for more resources, including the books Pen It to Win It and Authorpreneur Secrets. Join the Authorpreneur Secret Academy membership group for courses, coaching, and community support to write, publish, and win with books. Enrollment is in January and June each year. You may also sign up for one of Ruth's Publishing Made Easy courses or private coaching to write and publish your next book. Until next time, go pen it to win it.